Just got out of Ross. Shocking. I know. Bought a Joker mech. It's on the Imaginext series, which I used to have a lot of them. Imaginext is just a brand of like toys, but they're more geared toward kids. I had a bunch of them in my house, and I'm just like, this seems kind of weird. It's one thing to collect toys, but this is all preschoolers kind of stuff, you know. But it was Batman themed, you know. But I was like, it just seems kind of weird. So I put all of it downstairs in the foyer for people to take and got rid of them. So this is from Imaginext, but it's a Joker mech. He's driving it. And the Joker that, let me show you the fucking thing. I'm trying to describe it to you. This place used to be a blast on the weekends, this area here. With Degeneracy fucking Incorporated. See, the Joker too, driving a mech of himself. This looks like the Leto Joker. The Jared Leto Joker, like the businessman Joker. Pretty cool. I had to have that. Yes, it's the child's collection, but you know. Did I not put Super Steady on? Hold on, I'll be right back. I've got to put Super Steady on. There we go. There we go. Super Steady in the house. I caught a stream today, or a little bit of one, from the great Charles Carroll, who is a prophet, or he's self-described prophet, but he actually is a prophet too. Us guys here, and myself included, I really consider us more seers. S-E-E-R, which sounds a lot like seer, because we see things. I don't know so much about a prophet, but he does a lot of the stuff that you see just popping up into sort of mainstream thought, these more esoteric ideas, and certainly all the stuff they talk about here. He was talking about it like 10 years ago on Twitch streams. You know, he's way ahead of everything. And what he was saying today, and I've said something similar very recently, was that a lot of the things he's discussed over the years are now becoming more commonplace in discussion. I've said that about the topics we discuss here as well, and I've said it like, oh, this is encouraging because more people are seeing this stuff. He sees it from a different perspective, more of a doomy one, like the stuff that they used to talk about there years ago, some of the awful stuff. The fact that it's being more known or becoming more transparent to people or more visible to people isn't a good sign. It's actually a bad sign. And I guess I know where he's coming from. The fact that people know about it is great, but the fact that they do know about it now means it's so ubiquitous in our society that it's just going to happen that people notice these things more. One thing he broke a spell for me on today, and I still fall for these fucking tricks, you know. I've been in the system, well, since I was born. You're born into the system, man. And I was talking the other day down at the beach about these Muslim rape gangs going on in the UK, and how I was saying, you know, for me, I give the Muslims a lot more consideration because I was always trained by the mainstream media, echo, that they were these boogeymen, and that they, in fact, did the tower thing when they didn't. And it's just because they're the enemies of the mainstream media, so they got to get Americans thinking that they're the boogeymen too. So I usually give them, you know, a little bit more leeway because, you know, they've been so astroturfed in my lifetime as being these evil mustache-twirling villains. But I was talking about how my theory with the gangs, the rape gangs, is that they come from a country or communities where they're a certain way about their women, and they're very protective of them, and they have all these religious rules. So when they come to a Western country, they're like, well, shit, these aren't my women, we can do what we want. That was my theory, which sounded plausible to me the other day. But Charles pointed out that it's all bullshit. It's a military operation. The graping isn't being done by anyone that's not part of a military operation. And he was saying, what do you think, people are just so horny? They're so horny they can't stand it. They have to do this. Are there some, that are real? Yeah, probably. But for the most part, it's just another military operation. It's all PSYOP, military operation, Mossad, CIA bullshit. That's not. It's trauma. These sort of MK Ultra techniques that they pseudo perfected and in the darkness in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and up to today, are being used on a population on an industrial scale. And yeah, I mean, it was like, well, of course this is a PSYOP. Of course it's a military. A lot of things that are reported probably didn't even happen. I mean, I figured that out here when the Cove thing started happening, where there was quickly I'll just tell the story. There were these guys in the news. Bartender in Waikiki was one of them, and how he was felled due to COVID, and his family was talking about it. And I remember looking at the guy and going like, bartender where? And I'm thinking of the places that do have like, and they made it sound as if it was a nightclub, like a bar. And we don't really have many of those. So long story short, and I mean it this time, he didn't exist. Not only didn't he exist, but his parents didn't exist. Now, they had an address for the woman, and the woman did exist, but she had died. His mother, the woman who was supposed to be his mother, had died 5 years previously, and her property is being held in escrow, like for some kind of deal, and they're trying to sell it or something happening to it. So she did exist. He didn't exist. I could tell by looking at it because they had these pictures of this guy, and the picture just looks weird. It looked like that website you go to, that this person does not exist, and the AI will come up. This is 5 years ago. You can do this super easy now, but the computer would generate these people that didn't exist. The whole thing, I could just smell it, and it was like, this is all fake. And I'm posting my findings. I didn't have a channel at the time. This is, when did this thing start? 2022, I think I started here. So it was early days, so I was calling bullshit, and I was like, on Twitter, I was tagging the local newspapers that were running the story, saying, yeah, this guy doesn't exist, fuck you. And man, people got real mad at me. How dare you? And it was one of those moments like, yeah, this is a pearls before swine situation. Don't bother. Don't bother trying to fucking tell these people. They don't know. And what it is their emotion was overriding their sense of logical thought. When they get you in your emotions, you can't really think clearly. You won't listen to someone like me. And yeah, Charles also mentioned something else about how people like us who do this kind of thing in their lifetime, which I guess is all that really matters to us, because after that we don't know, are always going to be ridiculed. If you're not ridiculed, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. And as a great man once said, ridicule is nothing to be scared of. That great man was adamant. Look at that sky. It's very foreboding looking. Is it the death fog? We haven't had it here yet. That's the good thing I like about being out here. As someone was telling me, this is either the best spot or the worst spot, depending on what kind of PSYOP they're running. But yeah, there's no way for them to do that here and just be like, oh, just spread across the fucking Pacific Ocean. Look, they couldn't. That would be ridiculous. I mean, people would, I was going to say people see right through that, but I don't think it matters if people see through these things anymore. They don't seem to care. They're just fucking rolling this shit out, and just very fucking obvious what's happening. You know, people getting sick. But yeah, like a lot of stuff like that happens on the mainland, they really just can't do here. It should be ridiculous. We're a little postage stamp out in the middle of the fucking Pacific. But oh yeah, it blew over from Ohio, thousands of miles away, and we do it here. So we are safe from that. The other thing, and the flip side, is that it's a great place to try out certain psyops because it's a controlled population. You know, you have people on this island here. You know, this is the most populous of the Hawaiian Islands. So you have a controlled population you can try shit on that later you can then take to the mainland. And we've seen that before, and you know, pointed out when it happens. Did test runs on some stuff here. The government is always scheming. Not just your government, like I shouldn't say government really, even world controllers. The government's just a small part of it. They're always scheming because they need to 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm finally getting that right. They have to do jumping jacks in front of you all the time because they got to keep your mind off other things. They got to keep your attention. We're all in the cage, and the cage has a hole in it. There's a way out, and they don't want you to see it or think about it or know about it. So they got to constantly go, hey, look over here, look over here, look over here. So what they do constantly is just try to come up with new schemes, psyops. It's a churn. They're just doing more and more stuff. They have things lined up, things you're in the middle of. They're going through them so fast now that it's like it's hard to keep up. And I think sometimes they just forget about stuff. Like they kind of forgot about the drone thing. I don't know if they're still trying to do that. Now we're in the death fog, but even the death fog is, they're not finishing these storylines. You know, it used to be like they would have a storyline. You know, we spoke about the towers earlier, and there would be a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know, but since that particular spell and ritual was cast, it sped things up here, moving into the new millennium. So things happen a lot quicker. So now they're just like flinging spells around everywhere. And that's a good sign. It's a sign that they're not in control. Or they're losing control. And they are. You know, just because when you see people that can talk about this stuff, I can go online and, you know, talk to people in a comment section where we're all on the same page about what's happening around us or what's going on. Or, you know, I see regular just people in, you know, common places, Yahoo comments or something, talking about psyops and things like that. It's like people just know, you know. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, it's like more, it's better. See, to me, it's more encouraging, you know, because it means people are becoming more aware. The more people are aware, the less they can get away with. You know, you don't have to get a fucking group of people and go out in the street and burn things down you know, you don't have to do that. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen through you, through your awareness, just by being aware and just by, it's what it is you have to be able to say, hey, what are you doing? Sometimes it's all it takes to stop evil from opening the next door is to get by the door, stand by it, stand up on it, or just be in the next room and say, hey, what are you doing? Then they have to stop, and they have to reevaluate, they have to reassess, they have to recalibrate. That's all it takes to stop them. You know, you don't have to ruin your own neighborhood, you don't have to fucking do anything stupid. Fuck it, I would suggest, you know, staying as anonymous as you can, you know, and go on Yahoo fucking comment section to say, hey, what are you doing? That's all it takes. You fucking have a pit of snakes, you know, oh, there's a pit of snakes, gotta burn. No, you just gotta fucking put a flashlight in there. And they'll get out of the pit themselves, you know. Demons, they don't like being seen, you know, they'll stay away. That's why cats are great, because they can see them. If demons even, it's like the double slit experiment again. If demons even have an idea that you could see them, they don't come around, they leave, they go. They don't want to be seen. There's some kind of thing going on there. I think part of it is like this this deep sort of ancient shame that they have of their own form, because they know what they are. Because a lot of them used to be like us. But yeah, it's alright. We're all going to make it. I got to reiterate that all the time. We're all going to be fine. Do not fear. That's the thing the Bible says the most. It's the most oft-repeated thing in the Bible. You know, God always said, Jesus said, you know, do not fear, do not fear. You know, fear will put you in a state where you're not even in control of yourself. That's why they try to make you afraid. You know, he was talking about serial killers too in that stream today, about how they don't exist, and they don't. One of the things that the reason they used to run these serial killer psyops, it was a way for them to get into the, in the 1970s or even earlier, it was a way for them to get horror into your living room. As families would, you know, watch the news, or they had a dinner they eat and they'd have the news playing. It was a way for them to talk about horrific shit in your fucking house. You know, he had eaten 3 boys, or he took this person apart. He did, you know, it was a way for them to do that. It was a way for them to bring those words into your home. And even like just regular newscasts, the horrific shit they talk about, it was always like, you know, you'd sit around, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. Because on the news you can get away with anything. There's no censorship there. And they purposely try to bring this horrific stuff into your home. You know, the sanctity of your home. Just getting a TV in your house was the first move. You know, that was part of it. Once they did that, you know, all bets were off. All right, I'm gonna go up and take a shower. I'll be back out later. I haven't done a good demon patrol in a while, but I haven't fucking gotten anything. I haven't gotten any fucking hits. You know, greatest hits, greatest hits. Illuminati confirmed. Nice seeing you guys. Until next time, don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.